It gives me great pleasure this morning to announce or inform the general public, in case they're not aware, that the St. Martin Basketball Federation, in collaboration with Dreams to Reality Foundation, left to participate in the LIBA Under-20 tournament in Antigua. The delegation consists of 2 coaches, 1 referee, delegation leader, support staff, and the national Under-20 team. The team has been training rigorously for months and is expected to put up an exciting match against the other teams in an effort to bring home the championship. Competing this year are Anguilla St. Kitts, Nevis, and defending 2015 champs Montserrat. Last December, the Federation took a team that was quite successful and achieved the 2nd place. So the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, together with the Department of Sport, is wishing the team all the best in their endeavors as they go for gold. Of course, we follow them on social media, etc., and so we ask the community to also continue to support them in this respect. In other important news from the ministry, the Student Support Services Division, in its quest to continue its services that it renders in the new school year to students, parents, and the schools themselves, they are embarking on the 2017 AIM High project. Once again, all schools will be contacted regarding scheduling of their sessions. The project, now in its 3rd year, involves SSSDs, career guidance counselors, conducting sessions with the Group 8 or Grade 6 students of all the elementary schools. The program engages students while informing them about the differences between vocational and academic education which they'll be facing in the next school year. The importance of staying in school and having academic and professional goals from a very young age. The program also touches on the aspects that can impact academic success. The information is designed to encourage students towards better academic performance while also reaching students before they sit their final FBE exit exams. Last year, this program reached 542 students, and the SSSD looks forward to the usual enthusiasm and support of this program from the various schools. Schools may also request, so this is now to the schools, the parent version of this session. So this session that we're starting for the 3rd year is for the students, but there's also a session geared towards parents. However, the schools would have to request this by submitting it to the division head, Mrs. Olga Mussington Service, at Student Support Services, at least 1 month in advance of the planned session. So if schools would like to have sessions specifically for parents, they should contact SSSD at least 1 month prior to the date that they would like to have that. And this is specifically in preparation for Grade 6 students that are going to the next level. Parents also need guidance in that. So I ask the schools and the parents to take note and to make use of this opportunity. Also ongoing, and have started already, maybe you've been following in the press, the career or study choices. With the new academic school year well on its way, students in their last 2 years of high school or those who recently completed high school, secondary school, will no doubt be thinking about what's next if they haven't done so already. So there's an approach that the Student Support Services Division of the ministry is here to help you with. On August 24th, 2017, we are organizing an interactive workshop entitled Choosing a Career of Study. This workshop is geared primarily for the above-mentioned students. As I mentioned, the students in their last 2 years or those who have already graduated but have not yet made a move. The workshop is free of charge and will be held at the University of St. Martin on August 24th from 5 to 6 p.m. As I mentioned earlier, I have been hearing the counselors, Mr. Mika Lambert, Mr. Mika Lambert and Mr. Michelle Chance have been on various radio stations promoting these workshops, but of course, as minister, I support this endeavor 100% and seek to assist them in any way in bringing that word out. This workshop will address career paths, overcoming being undecided about a major or a study at college, university level, or exploring other career options and not overlooking other career options. As you know, some of our students usually gear for the main basic, but within a certain career field, there are several careers that some students just never think about. So this is a great opportunity, so I'm encouraging all students within the category I mentioned to walk with your notepads or tablets, as that might be, to take the necessary notes that will help you on the way to making the correct study choice for you. You're encouraged to also be on time, as it is a 1-hour session, and to contact the guidance counselors, Ms. Lambert or Mr. Charles, at 543-1235. That's 543-1235 if you need further information about the Choosing a Career or Study workshop. And I would like to thank these counselors and SSSD for their continued efforts in meeting the needs and providing the services. It is now up to the general public, the students, the schools to make use of these opportunities. So I encourage you to do that. In news from the Education Department, just to update, monthly the Education Department meets with school boards on St. Martin to discuss various aspects. As you know, we're busy with some innovations that we involve the school boards in. But as minister, I have asked the Education Department to spend to specifically point out and have some interesting discussions, and hopefully I'll include myself in those with school boards in reflecting on their rules, regulations, their statutes, etc., in a sense of, are we meeting the needs of our students? Are our rules and regulations in keeping with the 21st century? A lot of these schools have been established for many, many years, and I believe without intention that many of their rules may have surpassed their usability, their validity. As minister, I do not have, a hammer to pound on anyone's head, but I would like at this time to encourage school boards to assess your rules, regulations, assess your norms, assess what you are doing to assist in this process. We all have a role to play, and in these meetings, collaborating and giving feedback to each other in a collegial manner, I believe, can only bring forth a positive change for this community. I think we've been seeing the cry out there by the public and complaints, and in not addressing them, it is, to me, disrespectful. As minister, I don't have that type of control, but the dialogue continues, and I will do my best to continue to encourage school boards to assess, reflect, and make the necessary changes within your rules and regulations in keeping with the 21st century. We've had several back-to-school workshops, we've had conferences, as well as symposia aimed at the 21st century learner. And I think it is not only expected that teachers and students and parents make the adjustment, but that school boards also. And of course, government, most naturally. In that respect, I would like to commend the MAC Comprehensive Secondary Education School, which has submitted an application to become a member of the UNESCO Associated School Project Network. This is a wonderful network. When accepted, this will be the first school on the southern side of St. Martin to become a UNESCO associated school. On the northern side, the Aline Hansen Elementary School is already an associate school and has been for several years, and sometimes you may notice they do collaborative projects with actually the MAC Elementary School. The UNESCO Associated Schools Project, ASP.NET, is a network of schools throughout the world committed to the ideals of UNESCO by conducting pilot projects in favor of better preparing children and strengthening the role of education in promoting a culture of peace and tolerance. These are great ideals. UNESCO Associated Schools conduct pilot projects, undertake innovative approaches, test educational materials, making significant contributions to improving the quality of education, learning, and content. Other schools are encouraged to join such an effort as well and can contact the SG UNESCO Marcelia Henry in an effort to bring their school into this network. So I do encourage all other schools who may have that as an ideal to join, as it is then another resource in helping to take our learners into the top of our world's ambitious leaders. Today, August 23rd, is International Day of Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition. The International Day was first celebrated in a number of countries, in particular in Haiti on the 23rd of August, 1998. According to UNESCO, the International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and the Abolition is intended to inscribe the tragedy of the slave trade in the memory of all peoples. It gives people a chance to think about the historic causes, the methods, and the consequences of slave trade. The Director General of UNESCO invites all ministers of culture and all member states to organize events every year on that date, involving the entire population of their country, and in particular young people, educators, artists, and intellectuals. To commemorate this UN observance this year, the St. Martin National Commission for UNESCO will present the afternoon school program coordinators with copies of the illustrated coloring book about the life of Toussaint Louverture, 1743 to 1803, one of the slave uprisers of Haiti, which many of us learn about in school, which can be of this coloring book can be of use to educate students about the life of Toussaint and the significant role he played in the liberation of the enslaved people of Haiti, which also played a key role in the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade and the fight for freedom in the Caribbean and beyond. Educators and organizers, including youth associations, government agencies, as well as non-governmental organizations, can promote the day by informing people about the historical events associated with slave trading, the slave trade in particular, the consequences of the slave trade, and to promote tolerance and human rights. And I must say, in recent discourse over the past few weeks, especially at the educational symposiums that I have attended, the effect of colonialism as a result of the slave trade on our present situation still continues to rear its head. And so I believe the discussion and the dialogue coming out of this year of, I believe, a heightened awareness can only serve to further liberate us in our minds as well as in our systems and actions. So I look forward to seeing all these such activities. Another reminder that an ad has been placed for the representative of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport on the board of directors of the Advancement for Vocational Education, AVE, which runs the NEPA school. Interested applicants can send CVs to the cabinet via Mrs. Vanterpool Arnell at fabiana.vanterpool/Arnell, at stmartingov.org and ccfrancisca.mattenberg@stmartingov.org. The ad has been placed in the government info page where more details can be found. I've also been asked concerning our pending meeting with the Windward Islands Teachers Union. I'd like to inform that an initial meeting request was made by the president for a meeting. The ministry requested elucidation and has received that, but had not confirmed a meeting date with the union. On the date proposed by the union, the president came to the new government building indicating a meeting. However, unfortunately, the meeting was never confirmed, and upon receiving the necessary information from the various departments, and after scheduling conflicts have been resolved, a meeting has now been scheduled with the union and will be held on Monday, August 28th, to further discuss the points of concern. In general information, the intended move, as I talked about, I believe last week, has started for the departments, and from Monday, 21st of August to the 25th, in order to accommodate the move, the following departments will remain closed. That is the Department of Education, or I should say all of the departments registered at the Vlon Building, Department of Culture, Department of Sport, and the Department of Youth. Also not having access to the public at this moment is the Division for Educational Innovation, which was located further down on the Pondfield Road next to Compass Insurances. So during this time, communication to the above-mentioned offices will be to a minimum to allow the staff to prepare the move, set up the new location, which they are currently busy with, and those offices will reopen here at the new government building on August 28th. That is Monday upcoming, right here at the new government building. As soon as we have gotten them situated, the contact numbers will be made public to the general public. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause and ask for your patience in this. Any emergency cases can, of course, contact the Secretary General's office or my cabinet.
I want to thank the creative minds and youngsters of St. Martin for that wonderful song that they came up with Justin Bieber. It's too late to be sorry or something like that it was. I think it was very creative. I actually like the song. I see Deputy Prime Minister is here laughing. So it's good to have a little laugh or a little joke sometimes. In addition to that, I also want to make mention that earlier in the year, I started talking about having derelict cars on the side of the road or on the sidewalk or on the main road or roads that are being used by heavy vehicular traffic. And after the accident that happened yesterday in the Ebenezer area, I believe it was with a school bus, it brought more attention to having cars that is not licensed in terms of there's no more number plate on it or there's an old number plate on the car that's on the sidewalks or just park on the road, that we are giving the individuals or the owners of those vehicles some time to remove your car from the public sidewalk or the main road or roads that are being used by vehicular traffic in the morning, especially in the cul-de-sac area, South Reward, St. Peter's, Sanders, Betty's Estate, Ebenezer. Because what happens is when an incident occurs, traffic is backed up because most of the roads, majority of the roads, becomes one-way roads because of these cars that are parked on the road or parked on the sidewalk. And again, I want to commend the Minister of Justice and also the police department for doing an exemplary job with the parking on Front Street and Back Street. It will continue because, again, we made mention of it here that the billards were not moved for you to park in the areas. It was moved to assist pedestrians to walk freely, individuals with disabilities to maneuver freely and more easily on Front Street and Back Street. And we'll be coming to the completion of Back Street very soon, and we will continue this work in consultation with the Ministry of TIAT on Front Street. Also, what we will be doing in the near future is we will be removing the light poles that you see in Phillipsburg, the big, huge concrete blocks that the poles are standing on. They also will be removed, and you will get a single pole. You will get some benches so individuals can sit when they're tired. So again, it comes back to how we are working as a government, and it also reflects to the people of St. Martin. It's not to come down with a heavy hand, but we saw how one isolated incident yesterday caused hours of traffic, and individuals trying to get to their destination, trying to get to their workplace on time was simply held back because of an accident. And why? These things can be alleviated, or it can be simply a thing that won't happen so bad or so drastic, because if vehicles have the ability to maneuver, then things can move, the traffic can flow a little better. And we are looking at alternative routes. And the Minister of Justice had a discussion with me yesterday that I believe he had with a citizen of the country that came up with a brilliant idea that we will be looking into in terms of how we can get traffic to move more freely in the cul-de-sac area. But a big hindrance is a number of vehicles that are parked on the road with no number plate or with all our existing number plate. It simply means that the car is not in use anymore, or probably it's for sale, but you're not allowed to have the car parked on the road. It's a practice. One would say it's probably part of just the things that we do at times. But because of the situation, we need to come to the understanding that, look, listen, we need these roads to be cleared. Inspectors will be going out. A sticker will be placed on your vehicle. You will be given a certain amount of time to remove your vehicle from one, the sidewalk, and two, parked on the road, especially in the areas like I mentioned earlier, South Reward, St. Peter's, Sanders, Ebenezer, Betty's Estate. Because of the early morning rush hour, cars are coming in to drop their children to school. individuals are coming out heading to work, do not, please remove your vehicle if you are one of those that have the vehicle parked in that situation. Also, again, I'm appealing to the garbage haulers to do a little better than what you're doing right now in terms of picking up garbage in a timely manner and be more consistent. And also the truck drivers, like I said last week, you will be fined. You will be pulled over and you will be fined for not having your trucks covered when you're delivering aggregates or boxes or trash. It is something that I know the Minister of Justice and I had a discussion, and you can see already Back Street and Front Street. So they will be moving on to other areas and tackling these issues. So I just wanted to bring you up to date with some of the things that have my concern and how we will be working on them. I want to thank you very much.
Family law, criminal law, labor law, corporate law, immigration law, electoral law, tax law, environmental law, inheritance law. The law matters to you. A joint venture between the Department of Communication and the University of St. Martin. The lecture series, The Law Matters to You, is aimed at informing and providing the general public of St. Martin about the different laws. We invite you to visit the official government website at www.stmartingov.org for details on upcoming lectures. The law matters to you, bringing the law closer to the people.
Since I was introduced as the Deputy Prime Minister, I would have to give the notice that the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. William Allen, is off island, and that is why he's not here today. My notices, however, are as a Minister of Justice, and I would like to start with the following. Some time ago I mentioned that the second quarterly review by the Progress Committee was pending, and that I met with the committee, and I've in the meantime received the draft report. It is not the final report, but I still would like to highlight some things that are in the draft report, fully realizing that the final report could have some differences. The committee, for a long time we have been getting very, let's say, negative reviews, and this report shows some sign of hope in what we are doing, and I think it is good, especially for those people who are involved in creating the better situation, improving the situation, that they know that their work is being appreciated. One of the things that the committee mentioned, for instance, is that it was very pleased with the appointment of Mr. Jason Rogers as a member of the committee. For many years, you could say, the committee has been coming to St. Martin, and a representative of St. Martin was not appointed on the committee. This time it was, for all of us on St. Martin, a real pleasure when sitting talking to the committee to know that Mr. Rogers was part of the committee. The committee also appreciated that and extended thanks to the government and all of those involved in who made sure that that appointment took place. The committee spoke about the image that exists in their general remarks, and I would quote a short piece of the report. For a long time, the committee was almost discouraged by the lack of progress in the implementation of the action plans. After the previous working visit, there was evidence of a turnaround in that situation, and the observation during this working visit is that the change has been started. Important steps are the consent of the Council of Ministers for the police recruitment plan and the measures taken by the Minister of Justice, which show that he's paying attention to the poor situation at the prison. I think, coming from the committee and comparing with previous reports, that is something that my team and I are very proud of and happy with, that it is mentioned. Also, reference was made to the task force. I mentioned that a task force was implemented, HRM task force, to deal with the personnel situation, and we indicated that we have as goal that the over 100 pending individual cases, hopefully by the end of the year, that